Hey Virgo, welcome to your monthly reading for the month of May 2025. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Laura, aka Baby Curl Tarot. I am a tarot reader, astrology enthusiast, and root worker. And I like to do monthly readings for all the zodiac signs here on YouTube, IG, and TikTok. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right on into it. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading, so whatever comes up, comes up. Also, I do have a lot going on in my complex, so if you hear a leaf blower, I'm probably going to end up stopping the video because it is my arch nemesis and I cannot stand when I get that noise in a video. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Spiritual team, Numinous Astro deck, what messages do you have for the Virgo Collective for May 2025? What messages do you have for the Virgo Collective for May 2025? Also, Virgos, please keep in mind if you do see this video after May 2025, that is okay. This is meant to be timeless reading. It just means that the message was meant to find you at a later time, okay? First card, we have Sagittarius, the Voyager. Love that. Okay, so Sagittariuses are known for being enthusiastic, philosophical, independent, generous, ethical, happy-go-lucky, adventurous, honest, unbridled, experiential, lucky, boundless, traveling, risk-taking, and sometimes tactless and self-righteous. Okay, I'm getting a lot of Sagittarius energy for people, so either a lot of you guys have Sagittarius placements, like significant Sagittarius placements, or you guys are looking to explore bigger themes and ideas and possibilities in life. Very interesting. All right, next card is we have the Numinous, and I think this card is just specific to this deck. I'm not familiar with this being an actual placement. It says this is representative of the unknown, the unknowable, ESP, psychic abilities, the cosmos, universal truth, oneness, source, the unnameable, shadow work, inner knowing, tingling, ghosts, other worlds, space, the occult, and intuition. So anything that you associate with spirituality or the occult or things of that nature. This really talks about like your spiritual side, okay? Spiritual side of life. What do we have next? The seventh house, okay? And this is the house that rules, relating, partners, companionship, best friends, marriages, relationships, opposition, equilibrium, sharing, justice, balance, and social awareness. This house also rules like legal documents and things like that. And finally, at the bottom of the deck, we have the square, which is a challenging aspect in astrology. And this aspect represents tension, stalling, sounding the alarm, motivating, pressuring people into things, frustrations, demands, struggles, reorientating yourselves, hurting or feeling hurt, and then reconciling and working things out. So what I'm getting from this is that this could very well have to do with a specific type of relationship. It doesn't always have to be romantic, but the seventh house is really known for like a committed partnership or a marriage of some kind. It also deals with legal binding contracts, which marriage essentially is. It's a binding contract between two people to share your lives together. So this could be with a romantic partner. This could also be with someone very close to you, like your best friend, or maybe a business partner, someone that you really have to give a lot of trust to in terms of being that close to you and sharing certain information or responsibilities with. Does that make sense? So some of you guys may have Sagittarius in the seventh house. Or some of you guys could be exploring or wanting to explore different maybe dynamics in your relationships, and that is causing some tension. Let's go ahead and just jump right into the tarot cards and see what comes up for you guys. Spiritual team, African Tarot, what messages do you have for the Virgo Collective? I had a couple cards jump out. I had Strength and the Five of Cups reversed. Okay, so there could be some healing going on if you're coming out of a situation like I mentioned earlier. Let's see. Spiritual team, what messages do you have for the Virgo Collective for May 2025? What messages do you have for the Virgo Collective for May 2025? Okay, let's see. What do we have? Six of Swords reversed. Come on. These cards get stuck together so easily, so I apologize. Okay, we have Six of Swords reversed, Queen of Cups, King of Cups. Okay. Ace of Swords reversed and the Page of Cups reversed. Oof. You have probably been at an impasse with somebody for quite some time. Like, you also may have not been on speaking terms with this person. With this Ace of Swords in reverse, it was like radio silence between the two of you. I am getting the feeling that this could lean into a romantic relationship just because I have the King and Queen of Cups here together. Luckily, they're both upright, so I don't feel like this is a toxic situation, but could have been more of like a misunderstanding or like a deep, just not really able to like get on the same page and move past whatever issue this is that you guys had with each other with the Six of Swords in reverse. It's like you guys really are just having trouble getting past this. And to be quite honest with you, I think that this has to do with some sort of power dynamic in the relationship. Again, take what resonates. This could be a romantic relationship. This could be a platonic friendship. This could be a business partnership. But we have a Queen and a King of Cups. Like two very powerful individuals, maybe different approaches to things or different levels of emotional intelligence. But you guys are very strong, capable, and intuitive people. Okay. Kind of weird to say, but it feels like some of you guys may have been communicating with this person intuitively, even though you weren't on speaking terms per se. It was like intuitively you understood where you guys were on the situation and you were like, nothing really needs to be said. But at the same time, nothing's really moving forward. So you guys could probably be very stubborn, both of you. Not willing to budge, not willing to compromise, not willing to give in on the other person's perspective or compromise or whatever it is that the other person wants. You guys may be really holding firm against each other. In like, I mean, I'm not saying this is like an all out war and like verbal conflict because I don't get that. It feels very mellow to me for some reason. It just feels like a Mexican standoff. And I don't know why that's a term. Probably shouldn't be using it honestly in this day and age, but that's just the first phrasing that comes to mind. It feels like everyone, like the Peter Parker, like Spider-Man, there's different versions of Spider-Man and they're all like pointing at each other, looking at each other, but no one's doing anything. Where you're like, who's going to make the first move? Like, who's going to fold first? Who's going to attack first? It's kind of, that's what I'm getting with this. Let's get into the bottom of the deck and see what else we have. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands, we have the Nine of Cups, we have the Five of Swords reversed, okay, Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the High Priestess. Yeah, very intuitive individuals here. You guys really understand each other on a soul level. Like, a lot of things don't need to be said, and I feel like that's why you guys haven't had a blunt, direct conversation about whatever it is that is bothering the two of you or like driving a wedge between the two of you. But I feel like at some point, one of you kind of has to put down the pride, the ego, whatever you want to call it, and take that first step towards each other if you want things to work out, right? So someone has to make the first move. We have the Ace of Wands. Someone's got to reach out to somebody if y'all want it to work out. And this Five of Swords in reverse, the other person has to put down their swords too and their guard. Their guard has to come down. Your guard has to come down in order to move forward and make this happen, whatever it is. Like, if this is a business partner you're working with, you guys have to kind of give up the my idea, my way kind of a thing and look at honestly what is best for the company and come to an understanding or compromise or agreement of some kind that is going to be best for the company. If you are married or in a committed relationship with someone, you guys have to come to terms with what is going to be ultimately the best for this situation. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I feel like the conversation has to be had, and I feel like the ego and the guard or need to have things come out in your favor needs to be kind of dissolved and really just looked at what is the betterment for this union. For you guys in particular, this feels a little bit like security, like financial security, physical security. So this could be related to like your home, where you actually physically live, your income, where you want to invest in. Maybe you guys want to buy a house. You're trying to decide where you want to buy this house. Maybe this is looking into taking up a new career path for some of you, or going back to school. Like it could literally be something like that. But it feels like this is a pretty significant decision. This is a pretty significant discussion that needs to happen if it is going to turn around and you guys are going to move forward. Because right now, I just feel like the more you guys avoid this conversation, the more financial or physical issues are going to come up, you know, between the two of you, especially if you guys are on two different pages and trying to go about things in two different ways. It's eventually going to start clashing and creating more issues than anything else. So you guys really kind of have to come together. I feel like intuitively you kind of know what needs to happen, what needs to be said, what needs to be done, what needs to happen in order to move things forward. But I feel like you guys are just honestly like waiting for each other to make the first move. With this Page of Cups in reverse, is like, I'm not extending my cup to you, like if you're not going to extend your cup to me, which is a little childish in a way, but it is what it is. Like maybe that's just how you guys handle things. But yeah, that is ultimately what I'm seeing. It's like there is yeah, I mean, you guys know what needs to happen. I can't really say who's wrong or who's right, because maybe both of you guys are right. You guys are both in the upright. I think both of you have great ideas and great perspectives. Maybe there is a way for you to guys to combine those two ideas or feelings or thoughts or plans of action together in a way that works well harmoniously. I'm gonna let this truck go by. Hold on. All right, Virgos, that is what I'm seeing with the tarot. I'm going to go ahead and move on to a couple of oracle decks just to close out the reading. The first readings of the month are usually a little bit shorter, but if you want to see a longer reading, leave this video a like and a comment. Let me know that you watched it and you engaged with it. I do offer mid-month check-ins for the top 3 signs that engage with my videos here on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok. So if you want to see a longer video in the middle of the month, definitely engage with this video so that I can consider you guys and put you guys in the running for a love and a general reading. All right. Spiritual team, Numerology Manifestation Oracle, what additional messages do you have for the Virgo Collective for May 2025? What additional messages do you have for the Virgo Collective for May 2025? What additional messages do you have for the Virgo Collective for May 2025? All right, we have New Moon in Scorpio, go deeper. Interesting. I feel like yeah, this High Priestess card is like maybe calling you or this other person to dig a little bit deeper in terms of like going past your own preconceived notions or ideas on how things should go or what the decision should be. Maybe there is a little bit of selfishness, I can't talk, selfishness, you know, behind the decision or plan of action that one of you wants to take, and it's not necessarily conducive to everybody in the situation. So I just feel like there needs to be a little bit of reflection, maybe a little bit of like acknowledgement that, hey, maybe this isn't the best plan of action for this particular situation or for this particular time. Does that make sense? Okay. Next one is first quarter moon in Pisces. Honor your feelings, honor your own feelings, but also honor the feelings of the other person. So being an active listener, being an empathetic listener is really one of the biggest aspects of having a productive an empathetic conversation. So yeah, I feel like it's important to make sure that your partner validates how you feel and validates your thoughts, your feelings, or your ideas. And I think it's important for you to do the same with them. But I also think it's important to look at the realistic expectations or results or potential results of making a significant decision on either side. Does that make sense? Next, we have last quarter moon in Gemini, clear your mind. And for me, this feels more of like clear your mind of expectations going into this conversation. Okay, get rid of those thoughts of like, oh, I need to be on guard. I need to be prepared for if they say X, Y, and Z. Get rid of all those expectations. Okay, and I think the other person needs to do the same. And just approach this with an open mind. Approach this with, hey, we're going into this as a team, not as adversaries. Okay, you're working together, not against each other. That's the whole part of this that I think is being missed here. Okay. Finally, at the bottom of the deck, we have last quarter moon in Pisces. Talk less and feel more. Yeah, I feel like this is really the big theme of this reading. Is this is less about your thoughts, your desires. This is more about intuitively feeling what is best for this particular situation. Now, I'm not saying your ideas and your feelings aren't valid, nor are they incorrect. I just feel like maybe for some of you, it's not necessarily a good fit for this particular situation or time. I feel like it could work out if maybe circumstances were a little bit different. It might work out better. But for some reason, it just feels like you need to really understand what this particular situation is calling for. Okay, and that may end up having you guys kind of go against your own plan, idea, or thoughts. So just intuitively kind of understanding what does need to happen, I think, is going to be really important. And listening to that intuition and getting outside of the ego. Okay. All right, let's close this out with the final deck of the reading. Spiritual team, daily crystal inspiration. What final messages do you have for the Virgo collective for May 2025? What final messages do you have for the Virgo collective for May 2025? What we got going on? All right, we have hematite, ground yourself. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys are living up here in your head right now. You have a lot of like preconceived ideas, again, of like what should happen or what the other person is going to say, how they're going to respond. And you're just, I think you're all in your head right now. You need to come out of there and come back into your body. That's also going to help you get more in tune with your intuition and the feelings and all the things you're going to need in order to move this forward. Also, it's going to help you kind of bring down those guards and those walls when talking to this other person. Next, we have Azurite, get laser focused. Yeah, so again, this is a really big decision or a really big conversation because it affects something really important, which is why I think it has a lot of you guys in your feelings and like not wanting to necessarily back down because you feel like maybe from past experiences, okay, and maybe that's something you need to explore through shadow work or therapy or something of that nature. But a lot of you guys may have past experiences of like, well, if we take this thing that the other person is suggesting, my past experiences have shown me that that can put us in a very negative position. Okay, so either way, I feel like this laser focus really means just to look at this particular situation because there may be some very nuanced things that are different than your past experiences, or things have changed and shifted in a way where that type of approach is actually better for this particular situation now. Does that make sense? But really getting laser focused on the task at hand is important, and moving forward is the goal. Okay. Finally, at the bottom of the deck, we have Labradorite and it says, see the magic. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of divine intervention, divine or a fated situation coming up for you guys. It's helping you kind of shape or reshape your belief system, your faith or trust in other people, your faith and trust in the universe, spirit, whatever it is, or that you believe in, or whoever it is that you pray to. Hence why the numinous came up. I feel like this requires a lot of faith, and this requires a lot of shift in your own personal belief systems. Okay, so I don't know why, but I just heard some of you guys may also be, if this is a marriage, some of you guys could be discussing religion or spirituality in your marriage and how that will play out in terms of like raising your children. That literally just popped into my head. So if that resonates for you, that resonates. Anyways, yeah, I think there is some really interesting results that can come up for the better, for the positive for you guys when you step outside of your comfort zone and do things a little bit differently and kind of relinquish control a little bit in these types of situations. Okay, Virgos, that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Again, please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the reading, if it resonated for you. Maybe share this with another Virgo if you think it would resonate for them. Don't forget to subscribe also if you want to see more videos from me in the future. If you want to see more content from me, I'm also on Instagram and TikTok, and my handles are down below in the description box. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I just really appreciate the support. I really hope to see you guys next time. And until then, stay safe, healthy, and blessed.